Hello, everyone. Welcome to Architects on Fire. I am architect Dr. Sonia Mehta, and with me today is my friend, colleague, and partner in many, many chai meets from college days till now. Meet architect Upinder Kaur.
Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to be here. Today, in our first episode of Architects on Fire, we are going to tackle a very important question which is often referred by students and freshers as to how do we apply for a government job.
Yeah, okay. So, Upinder, before we start explaining to students and our young professionals, I would like to introduce both of us. So, both Upinder and I have spent decades in the government, me in Central Public Works Department and Upinder in the Ministry of Defense. So, we have seen the journey from nervous interviewees to holding senior positions in our respective organizations. In fact, my friend here, architect Upinder Kaur, retired as additional director general from Ministry of Defense, which is the topmost position of architectural services. And we as a fraternity is really proud of this fact.
Thank you, Sonia. Your feat is no less.
Thank you.
Doing the post graduation and being the chief architect of CPWD is also not a lesser achievement. And I think the whole alumni is proud of what the students are doing these days, what the alumni has achieved. And it's time we guide our juniors as to how to go about for a government job. And first, I would like to tackle the most important question which the freshers are looking for. Do we need a master's degree to apply for a government job?
Here is the truth, Upinder, which you are also aware of, but I'll highlight this point. No, you don't. Most of the organizations, a bachelor degree in architecture is enough. Recruitment is through Union Public Service Commission. We call it UPSC, and it's your performance in exams and in interviews that count. A master's degree might give you an edge, but it's not mandatory in many organizations.
Yeah, rightly said. Sonia, I would like to add a point here that masters, whether you do it in India or abroad, really doesn't matter as long as it is from a recognized university.
Yes,
The
true.
university has to be recognized. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely true. Now we come to next point, Upinder. So many students, they often ask us, how do we come to know about these jobs? Where do they even find these jobs?
I think it's a very simple answer. You need to follow employment news. All the vacancies of the government departments are advertised in employment news, and one has to keep a lookout on the vacancies. The dates are very clearly mentioned as to the last date of applying, and after that, you come to know the date of the written exam, as well as once you clear that, you come to know the date of the interviews also. And you would also, the students might be curious to know as to at what level do they join the departments, government departments. So all the freshers normally join either as an assistant architect, that's a class 2 post, or as a deputy architect, which is a class 1 post. And by the way, I would like to tell all the viewers that Sonia and me, we have both joined as deputy architects in our respective departments.
So that's the class one officer post, and we are very proud that we got selected by UPSC for that. It's not
Yes.
an easy achievement. It takes a lot of hard work. So now we come to Upinder, what happens after you apply? So, friends, it's a two-step process for those who get shortlisted after initial screening by the UPSC. A written exam is followed by an interview. The written part checks your technical knowledge and aptitude. And for the interview, oh, that's at least for me, that is where the real fun began. So that is where the real fun begins. For interview, I must highlight one should have real presence of mind to excel in the interviews. Upinder, I'll recall an incident when I was appearing for UPSC interview for deputy architect. So the panel, UPSC panel, as you are aware, they are esteemed members, well experienced, so knowledgeable in their fields and various fields. They don't only
Yeah.
pertain to like architecture field, they are from various fields. So I had done a project which had some, floating foundations or something like that. So they asked me Archimedes principle. So now I fortunately remembered what I had read in class 8, and I explained the law of flotation to them, and then the panel slyly asked me, what happened when Archimedes discovered this principle? I said, "Monica, sir, he started running naked on the street and believed."
Yeah.
I was, oh my God, I said, oh my God, what have I said? But then they were laughing. And, I think that scored a point for me because I mean, I was natural, I was honest, I knew my subject. So, excelling in interview, one has to have a aptitude and smartness, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. The same thing happened. Like my interview was slightly different. They first asked me on one of the hospital projects which I had dealt with,
Yeah,
and it was basically interrelation department, and just to check whether I know all the principles of hospital planning or not.
yeah,
And then we came over to one of my industrial projects,
yeah,
and I was grilled on the technical aspect, the building construction part. I was given a piece of paper and we had a lot of discussion on the construction details. And when I made the sketch, I told them this is what we are following. They started giving their own points. Why can't we go in for, that way? So
yeah,
it is just to check whether you are clear about what you're telling them,
yeah.
whether you know your subject well. And what I personally felt was it's always better if you don't know answer, just tell them I don't know, I need to check up on it, and be honest about it, because that's what they're looking for. The knowledge that you're telling, you're giving a feedback, or what you're telling them, whether it really is within you, or are you just on the upper level only without going into the details.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So,
And
yeah, yes, please go on. Sorry.
jobs, especially one thing more, the jobs which we have been dealing with in the government sector have been varied. It started from office buildings, schools, swimming pools, libraries, hospitals, and the list is endless. It even included some of our landscaping projects or the town planning, wherein we dealt with cities or small military stations that were both greenfield as well as brownfield. So the exposure is totally different compared to what we are doing in the private sector. How
Right.
about your projects? How
Uh,
about your projects?
it's it's same in CPWD. So CPWD is into various sorts of things they are doing. So one is
Yeah.
into projects, one is into publication. In fact, CPWD's publications are followed by private as well as government sectors. So the variety of projects which I have dealt with, they are mind blowing. So I have done sports complex of international sports size. Then I have done lots of residential, which includes multi-story, low-rise, and as you are aware, CPWD is known for its, residential manuals and norms, which we call residential norms, GPRA norms. Then I have done monuments of national importance, and then I have done interiors of heritage building, grade 2 heritage building, where you cannot temper outside external facade, but you can make some changes inside, keeping intact the character of the interior, and then, something very different CPWD has done, which was done under my guidance. It was the first public art district, street art district in Lodhi colony. And it is now in the tourist map, international tourist map. People come and visit here to, have look at the paintings, huge murals made by renowned artists. So you can see that, CPWD is dabbling in so many things that I can't tell you. And it's not, I mean, general notion is that Sarkari buildings are very, very mundane. They are what is this facade, this and that. But I must highlight that there are few, in fact, there are many, many buildings which are outstanding. And I'll just quote couple of them. You are, I think, our students and young professionals must be aware of Jawahar Bhavan, which was in Delhi, which houses Ministry of External Affairs. It was done by CPWD in-house by its architects, engineers, electrical engineers, and then Forest Research Institute is very famous in Dehradun, and one of the other building which catches everyone's eye, whether you like the architecture, you don't like the architecture, but it's a very different form. So it's while you come from airport in Hyderabad and go towards the city, it's the fisheries building. It's
Yeah.
designed in a shape of fish.
Mhm.
So, one must say that government jobs are not at all as dull as many think.
Yeah, over the years, it is the facade treatment or the way the projects are tackled has changed a lot. It's in
Yes.
all the government buildings. They are now even going in for the green buildings. I think most of the buildings are being constructed now as green buildings, and the nature of projects is so vast that in a private sector you can't think of working on so many projects per
Oh,
se. And one tip that we can give to the students is that during the interviews, they might be asked questions about, NBCC or the local bylaw. They can ask you any question as such, just to see whether you're abreast with the latest knowledge. So the
yes.
students need to be prepared for that.
Yes, absolutely right. Before coming to what happens after you get a government job, I'll just narrate an incident, Upinder. So, once, there was one client, they had to get a certain type of building design, which they thought, like CPWD architects may not be aware of. So, it was something related to solar energy, renewable energy, and the client department officer, he called me and he said, मैडम कर सकते हो क्या ये, और 5 दिनों में कर सकते हो? मैंने कहा, सर, वी आर लाइक सरकारी डॉक्टर्स, हम किसी बीमारी को मना नहीं करते हैं, हमें तो ट्रीट करना ही करना है.
हाँ, बिल्कुल.
Yeah, so why, that is why what just now architect Upinder has said, it is must, not only you should be good in designing, you should be good in construction aspects, you should be good in norms, NBC, local bylaws. I mean, you have to be aware of everything. So
Yeah,
now I'll come. Yeah, yes, please.
projects also change. Like one day you're working on a building which is on a totally, flat terrain. And the next hour you're working on a project which is on a hilly terrain and a steep slope. So you just have to keep on changing your mindset as to which building are you dealing with. And
Yes.
as you go higher, the number of projects keeps on increasing, and
Yes.
your mind keeps on shuffling between one project to another.
Yes. And
That's one
one
of the.
Absolutely right. And one thing more I will add that, as you grow higher in your organization, these are organizations are vast. There are many people working in these organizations. So as when my dear friend Upinder retired or I retired, we were dealing in administration also. So, one should have that aptitude of multitasking, where you are looking at humans benefits, sanctioning those benefits to them, as well as working on projects. It's, you can't say that, I can work on this project, I can't do multitasking. So I think the kind of experience we get in government, this is for our students and young professionals, it's mind blowing. It's amazing. So before we get off track, I'll come to the next point. Let me now come to what happens after you get a government job. So the career progression is very structured. You start at an early age and you can climb right up to the very senior level. In fact, I would like to mention here one of our Chandigarh College of Architecture alumni recently retired as Director General CPWD, which is the topmost position of the organization, because he had joined early and he had performed well. Performance is also necessary because every year government assesses your performance, but it's not that you complete the course and you join. There are certain age limits. So minimum limit is 23 years and maximum is up to 35 to 40 years, which includes relaxations for certain categories. Upita, what is it exactly in defense, the age limits?
It's the same, Sonia. Minimum 23 and 35 is the normal for normal categories, and for reservations it goes up to 40.
Okay.
And at time, though it's very rare, we do have vacancies at say architect level or senior architect director level. But that's one of the rare cases when you have. Otherwise, it's always starting from the deputy architect level only. Yeah.
So, which means outside induction is also there sometimes.
It is very rare in case you have
Okay.
more number of vacancies at a particular level. So that
Okay.
time they do, but that may be a short time, fix that. Okay, we have somebody for 5 years or maybe 7 years, not more than that.
Okay. Okay. And what else?
I think now we need to recap all the points that we have given in today's episode. The
Yeah.
first point is master's degree is not mandatory, though it may help the students in getting some additional points for that. The recruitment is always through UPSC, where we have your exams and the interviews. The vacancies are advertised in this thing, employment news. The projects are well diversified and you have to play in with different terrains. The career growth is structured, and the earlier you start, the higher you reach. So that
So,
is, I think, the shortest way we can sum up our episode today.
yeah, just a minute. So, my friend Upinder has beautifully summed up to our young friends listening. Government jobs are challenging, as we have described just now, and they are also deeply fulfilling. You get to design for the people, for the society, for the country, and that's no small achievement. So, my advice to those who want to apply for government job, that if you come to government, you will contribute to shaping the public architecture of the country. So stay determined, stay curious, and keep learning so that you excel when you want to go. And who knows, one day you might be sitting in our chairs like both of us, retired, but smiling at the soul satisfying journey that both of us had. Isn't it, Upinder?
Yeah, exactly. And maybe they'll also keep on enjoying cups of chai over the projects while dealing. That's the only time when you get a bit of peace while having a cup of tea. So let's
Yes,
go to the cup of tea here.
I'm not having.
Okay, I'm still continuing that. So,
Yes.
okay, goodbye everyone. Stay inspired, and we'll catch you up in the next episode of Architects on Fire. Goodbye.